you so much for tuning in with me for another Spirit Box session. Today I want to do a session with Dorothea Puente. She's the infamous serial killer from Sacramento. She was convicted in the 1980s and murdered various elderly and mentally disabled boarders before cashing their Social Security checks. Puente's total count reached 9 murders. She was convicted of 3 and the jury hung on the other 6. Newspapers dubbed Puente the Death House Landlady. So I have the S7 Spirit Box. And it's like an FM transmitter, so it scans FM frequencies. So I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Will my spirit guides come forward and help me come in contact with Dorothea Puente? It says girl. It sounded like it said like creation. So I have Dorothea's picture set up here. She looked like a normal little old lady, I feel like. It says, look back. If you're here, will you come forward and speak with me tonight? Will you say your name? It sounds like it said, of course I'm here. Something like that. It sounded like it said unstable. So I have the REM pod, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. If you come near this device, these lights will light up. So Dorothea Helen Puente. It says death. I was just going to say she was born January 9, 1929. She died March 27, 2011. Can you come through and tell me why were you murdering the people in your boarding house? Like, what led you to that decision? Something just touched the REM pod. That's you touching the REM pod. Can you touch it again? Like if you come near it, like all the lights will come up. It says fire. So I read that you were cashing in their Social Security checks years after you killed them. You were still getting away with it. I hear a woman coming through quietly. I always recommend the headphones, but I do hear a woman. It said female. How many people did you actually murder in total? It sounded like it said, I don't know, and then it said just 3, which she was convicted of 3. But I believe there was up to like 15 people that were missing from her boarding house. Is that true? Was there 15 people, but you only got convicted of 3? I keep hearing a woman coming through. I'm going to turn this a little bit. Can you say hello? It sounded like it said, like, I killed them. Dorothea, can you tell me how you killed those people? What did you do? It said you were... It says nope. Why do you say nope? You don't want to answer the question? Wow, that was so clear. It was like, I was. It said like, yes, I was. Can you? It sounded like it said I had nothing to lose. It's the same woman coming through. Was this just all about money and cashing their checks? Dorothea, are you still here now? It sounded like it said like they got me. It says 1950s. It says, in the 1950s, you married a merchant seaman named Axel Brand Johansson in San Francisco. It sounded like it said he got the best of me. It said she created a fake persona, calling herself Tea Singola Nayarda, a Muslim woman of Egyptian and Israeli descent. It says Gray took advantage of Johansson's frequent trips to sea by inviting men to their home and gambling away his money. It says Gray was arrested in 1960 for owning and operating a bookkeeping firm as a front for a brothel in Sacramento. It says she was found guilty and was sentenced to 90 days. In the Sacramento County Jail. It said cut it out. In 1961, Johansson had Gray briefly committed to DeWitt State Hospital. 1940s. This is weird. So 1940. Are you talking about your childhood? You were born in 1929. In the 1940s, it says that was your first marriage at 16. It was to a soldier named Fred McFall, who had just returned from the Pacific Theater of World War II. They had 2 daughters between 1946 and 1948. Gray sent one to live with relatives in Sacramento and placed the other one up for adoption. She also suffered a miscarriage. McFall left her in late 1948. So it's gonna go over like to the victims. Where are the victims? Dorothea, since you've passed, have you seen any of the victims on the other side? Seeker. It says seeker. It sounded like it said they're not allowed. So, some of the victims of Dorothea: Malcolm McKenzie, 74. He said he met her at a bar and she took him back to his apartment. He reported that Puente had slipped something into his drink before robbing him of coins, watches, and other jewelry, including a diamond ring belonging to his mother, which she removed from his finger while he was incapacitated. Malcolm McKenzie, are you here, or have you seen Dorothea on the other side? It says, on April 28, 1982, Ruth Monroe, 61, was found dead due to respiratory depression caused by a massive overdose of codeine. Monroe was reportedly in good health when she arrived at Puente's. It says dead. Just 2 weeks prior to her death, however, she told a friend, "I am so sick, I feel like I'm going to die." Monroe's death was originally ruled an undetermined overdose, but later classified as a homicide. Dorothea, have you seen Ruth Monroe on the other side? Do you have any remorse for the victims and killing those people? Are you sorry for what you did? Are you still here? She doesn't even want to admit that she killed them. She only admitted, she said 3. Those were the 3 she was convicted of. But there was way more people in her care that disappeared. They just didn't look for the rest of them, I guess, because they had enough evidence with the bodies they found. Do you take responsibility for murdering those people? It said yes. Have you been it said I do. Have you been forgiven on the other side? Face. I heard a response and then it sounded like it said yes. Leona Carpenter, James Gallup, Eugene Gamel, Vera Faye Martin. It said we're right here. Have you forgiven Dorothea on the other side? Have you seen her? It sounded like it said they don't. I was sick. You were mentally sick and it was just about getting money? Did you need money? It said yes. Do you know who my dad was? He worked in the prison you were in. I heard a couple responses right there. Are you still in the house in Sacramento? It said I am. Are you still residing there with the people? It says chubby. Why do you say chubby? I heard that an older couple bought it. They're living there. Are you with them there in the house? It sounded like it said like reciting or something beside me. Why did you say chubby? Dorothea, I heard that you put one of the bodies in one of the bedrooms and it just lay there. Like, why were you doing that? Is that just to get rid of the bodies? Dorothea, where are you now? It said arrest. It sounded like it said I'm at the house. So you're just back at the house like nothing happened? Are you doing anything to the people that live there? Do they know you're there? It said they know. That's pretty interesting. Did you have a funeral when you passed? You died in prison at Chowchilla on March 27, 2011 from natural causes. You were 82. Do you like being famous for being a serial killer? Like, are you happy about that? I'm gonna do the Ghost Tube Seer app for Dorothea. I'm really curious to see what comes through for her. So I'm just gonna put it on her picture. It already came through. It's a little baby face. Like a sad baby face. Give me an image representing how you feel about the victims. Like if you're sorry for what you did. Who was the little baby in the first image? Who was that baby? It said he's dead. It's not like it said killed him. Did you kill a baby? It said pissed off. Why were you so mean to those innocent people? They went there to have a nice place to stay and to eat well and be taken care of. Like it was your job. Like you were being paid to take care of those people. So what made you decide to just drug them and kill them and cut them up and then bury them in your yard, like your little tiny yard? You're gonna have a mental breakdown or something? You thought you were owed something? What do you have to say about that? You're just mad and grumpy all the time, huh? You look like that. You look like an old lady, but I can tell. It sounded like it said, oh, whoa, when did her picture fall? Her picture turned. I'm sure that was on camera, but that's weird. Why did it do that? Did it do that when I moved it? That's weird. Her picture's all sideways and loose. She probably doesn't want pictures of her. What happened to your picture? You don't like that picture? I used to do caregiving for people. They were really annoying and it was really hard, but I never wanted to murder them. What made you decide to do that? I just keep holding this up, but she's not doing it. It made her mad. It sounded like it said, I'm the devil. Are you with the devil now? Were you mean to people because your husband's treated you bad or something? Is that what it was about? They got the Spirit Talker app on. So Dorothea, do you want to say anything else before I go? Are you still here? He's over there. He's over there. Who's over there? It sounded like it said Elvis. Is Elvis here? Are you trying? It laughed. The woman, she said something and then went, It said like, I'm okay. It said dumb.
I'm a little sad.
I'm a little sad. Are you sad because you're not alive to live in your house? Do you want... It says farm. Do you want to say anything before I go? It said thank you. I heard a man say thank you. Who's the man coming through who said thank you? It sounded like it said Eddie. So I was trying to look at the victims. It said like, are we all here? James Gallup, Eugene Gamble, Vera Faye Martin. Are any of you here? What other victims are there that they never found? Who else? How many victims never were found? Can you turn the lights on the REM pod again? Like if you come near it, like that? Watching? Well, can you do it? Can you come near them for me? Can you light those lights up and then I'll let you go? Where are you now? Is it like by the light? Have you crossed over? Are you stuck here and you're still at your house? Is that what's going on? There's also these kitty balls. Can you light my kitty balls up? I said probably. Well, thank you for talking to me. Goodbye. Well, that's the end of the Spirit Box session with Dorothea Puente. I definitely heard a woman's voice coming through, and it was pretty clear at times. And it sounded like the same woman coming through. And this kept saying a lot of years. It said 1950s, then it said 1940s, then it said 1960s. So I felt like I was kind of like reading her life. Like that's the times where, you know, she got married and then divorced. Her husband put her in a mental hospital. And then it also says as a child that she was sent to an orphanage where she was SA'd. So again, they always seem to have a really rough childhood. And then it turns into them doing like these horrific things. But to them, maybe it's normal. I mean, it sounded like she wasn't even going to admit what she did. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks so much for watching. Have a good night. Bye.